What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Peter Gabriel at long last. Indeed, shout out to Han Solo, who shared not only the album So, but a greatest hits compilation called Shaking the Tree, and there's a subtitle, I'm forgetting what the name of the subtitle is, 12 Golden Greats. Apparently from 1990, so shout out again to Han Solo for sharing this, shout out to the folks who had reacted to or commented on the previous Peter Gabriel reactions. As I mentioned, although I used the wrong name, what did I call it? Basically, in an earlier Peter Gabriel reaction, I talked about how I do actually know this tune. I don't remember exactly when I first heard it, but I remember recognizing it, like, oh wait, I know that track, when I saw, in the early 2000s, Vanilla Sky, starring Tom Cruise and Penelope Cruz, based on a Spanish film also starring Penelope Cruz. But yeah, the track features prominently in an early scene in that film, and when I saw that, I was like, wait, I know this tune, who is this? And I remember figuring out, looking at the soundtrack, it was Peter Gabriel, and it's a name I knew, and I knew he was associated with Genesis, like before Phil Collins, but it wasn't the name I was expecting. I was like, oh, really? Like, oh, that's, I thought it was someone else. I don't know who I thought it was, but that's not the answer I was expecting. But I always remember, like, how good that tune was. And again, it annoys me, I forgot what I called it, but essentially, Solisbury Hill, yeah, it's the one tune going into the Peter Gabriel deep dive I was aware of. Now, or no, that's not true, Sledgehammer. Sledgehammer is one that I think I had heard before. Either way, yeah, I was blown away by the album So, and it was, increasingly clear to me why he's a name of significance, and also fair to say, anyone who collaborates with Kate Bush, instantly gets a bump up in my book, and of course there's the track on that album where they did collaborate. So yeah, bottom line, become a fan, even though my knowledge of his music is still very limited, but it'll be cool to go through this greatest hits compilation, which I looked through the track list. After this opening tune, there was no other one I recognized, so in any case, I don't remember much about the lyrics. I remember there's like a phrase to like up on that hill, and perhaps about spending time with someone there, or perhaps the things that take place there. Admittedly, because I saw it in that movie, it's now bound up with, I can't help but like seeing the scene that it's in. So yeah, like I said, I'll try to catch what I can lyrically, but if as often happens, I don't catch everything clearly, I will look forward to hearing what people have to say. Let's listen to it. This is Peter Gabriel. The track is Solisbury Hill, and it's from the 1990, or it's heard here as part of the 1990 Greatest Hits compilation, Shaking the Tree.
Stood still. Eagle flew out of the night. He was something to observe. Came in close, I heard a voice, standing, stretching every nerve. I had to listen, had no choice. I did not believe the information. Just had to trust imagination. My heart going boom, boom, boom. Son, he said, grab your things, I'm gonna take you home. Yeah, no for you. To keep in silence, I resigned.
better vocally, but he can just like up the intensity quickly. Vocals at the end, but again, there were some moments there that came back as they were happening, but as often happens when it's a tune that I know from, or on some level from history, it's better than I remembered. It's, that transitional moment after the my heart goes boom boom boom. I love the way it like slides into the next section. Again, going through the album, so we heard some bigger vocal performances from him for sure, but there's some moments here where it's like the ease with which he'll just sort of turn up the heat just really quickly and like accentuate a line in a really effective way. I think it was pretty well demonstrated here. And yeah, I'd like, again, the opening bit, it's a very like clear visual moment, and I like the, going up on the hill and the wind's blowing and you're watching the bird fly off and it's this, sight to behold, the city below. But as it went on, like, there were other lines where I'm not quite sure, like the essence of the larger narrative. So again, I do look forward to hearing people's comments, but it sounded bigger than like, the hill itself. It sounded like there was, observations about larger processes or, humans more broadly. Either way, that main melody, which I don't know, is that a keyboard? Is that, my guess is that's a keyboard, but either way, that the sort of, what's the right word for it? It's like this calming sort of melody. It has this really, soft, expression to it. So I think that's such a key piece of the tune. But there were other elements I didn't remember as clearly, like those sort of big echoing guitar chords near the end of the tune. I didn't remember that, and again, those vocal bits at the end would seem like a bit cheeky, a bit fun. Like top tune, I know this sort of idiosyncratically. I clearly heard it somewhere, maybe my dad played it. My dad listened to Genesis, I know that. I know he was a Phil Collins fan, but I don't know if his fandom of Genesis was, pre-Phil Collins or only that stage and later. But either way, I heard it somewhere. So then when I saw, again, Vanilla Sky, I was like, oh man, that tune is cool. But I ultimately, it just became this like one-off thing where until recently, when I've gotten at least a slightly better sense of who Peter Gabriel is, I had really no context for appreciating it as, I'm now able to, which again, I realize is still limited by the fact that I don't know his wider catalog, but I've heard enough now to know that, again, there were some great vocals there, but he can do like bigger, more powerful and intense vocals. So again, you hear more tunes, you begin to make sense of the ones that you've already heard by hearing other ones that are different. So in any case, these are things you learn, like not only listen to music over time, but definitely when you do reactions on a YouTube channel. So Yeah, again, shout out to Peter Gabriel. Shout out to the folks who had mentioned before I started going through him that it'd be worthwhile. Shout out to Han Solo again for sharing the album and the greatest hits compilation. When we come back to this the next time, the next tune will be I Don't Remember. Sledgehammer's after that, obviously we've already gone through that. Same thing with Mercy Street. What a great tune that is, man. I haven't listened to that in a little bit. I need to go back and hear that. But yeah, there's a couple on here, it looks like, that we'll end up skipping over. But ultimately, looking forward to the run of this and hearing some tunes that were big hits. And that's what I was meaning to say about Solisbury Hill. Assuming that it's the first track on his greatest hits, or one of his greatest hits compilation, I would expect that this was a particularly well-received tune. And maybe the fact that I remember hearing it, but not other tunes by him, is an indication of that. But I am, like, wondering, is this, one of his, like, marquee tracks? Is this one of his, like, calling cards, if you will? So yeah, either way, let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.